Welcome to the Mirage Hearts podcast again after we fixed some technical issues. I'm your host, co-host. Frank, why don't you introduce yourself?
Let's get down to business. Hi, everyone. My name is Vera, also known as Frank. And apparently, the delay is back. Cool, you are cancer. Please stay quiet. Anyway, we also have with us today the second site owner, co-owner, Sumiko, also known as Jasmine. Say hello, Jasmine.
Hello.
Good job. And today we have with us site members Kinos, also known as Lucio Leg. Say hello, Lucio.
Hello.
We also have Amelia, also known as Cool Star to many other people. Say hello, Cool Star.
He already introduced himself.
Fuck you, Cool Star. We also have Blaze today. Everyone say hello to Blaze, also known on the site as Isla.
Or Papa Asmont. I'll accept either.
He'll also accept Papa Asma. And we also have the lovable Vince, or otherwise known as Lenif, on site. Say hello, Lenif.
Hello there.
And today we have a special podcast simply to clear the air about something which Mirage Hearts will explain to you. Mirage Hearts, if you please. Mirage Hearts, I swear to fucking God. If it's fine, not a fucking two anyway, Mirage Hearts, I swear to fucking God.
Whoa, no.
Great podcast.
Holy fucking shit, Mirage Hearts. I will fucking end you. You little piece of shit if you don't fucking start. Why are you doing this? Why do you hate us?
Does anybody else know why we're here?
We do,
Alright.
but we're just planning for the host to do it.
Does it matter though? Like,
Congratulations, Lenif. You have been promoted to host. Now you get to say the reason why we're here.
All right. Essentially, we were just going to ask questions about the second most influential character group that's to the user base of Mirage Hearts, Apocalypse, all created by Mr. Frank here. Since most of us are from the original KH RPG site way back in whenever, most of us do know the kind of the infamy of Frank's group it had on the site's impact. So we decided we just do a character special about kind of history with him. So Frank?
Thank you. But before we start on that, I'd like to address a few couple characters that we haven't addressed yet, but I think deserve an addressing. One of them is the character Eno. Don't you make fun of my hosting voice. I'll fucking grab your tit and rip it off. You don't know me.
Whoa, now. Hey, now. Hands off.
Alright, so who are the characters that next up Pockets we were supposed to go over to? Actually, there is one character that I wanted to talk about since we don't know much about him. And we all came up with our opinions earlier in the first podcast. And that is, before we talk about, that was Isla. And since we have the author of Isla here, I say we give him the floor to let him talk about Isla for a little bit. If you please.
He likes to read, and he just wants to have friends, man. That's pretty much the depth of his character right now. Thank you for your interest. I really appreciate it.
Oh, alright. I didn't know that.
I don't really have anything meaningful to add, honestly. Still... Oh, Frank is going off on cool in the chat. Oh my goodness.
So,
That's just so mean.
do you have any story arcs you want to share, or have an idea where he's going? Because your character feels like he's very shy, almost like a beta character that wants to yield to an alpha or like more bombastic personalities.
Alright, not everything's sexual, Lenny. Come on, like.
What? That wasn't sexual at all.
No, he's talking about this BDSM, sub and dom relate. No. I know what you're hinting at, Lenny. No, I don't play that. All right. I just want Isla to have a nice story, no rapes, no tentacle penetration. I've never been a fan of that.
Can you get back to the subject?
I kind of want the card. I can't lie. You get a little Yu-Gi-Oh card for anyway. He like. No, I don't want to reveal anything because I don't want to say anything that I have to commit to. He's still in very early stages because he really hasn't done anything. I want him to be organic. I want the adventures to mold him versus who I want him to be molding the adventures. Does that make sense?
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
All right. Yeah. So that's my spiel.
All right. Now that we talked about that, let's see, who was the other guy we're talking about before we get into this whole mess that is these characters?
Well, we do have Sumiko here, so does she want to talk about her new characters?
Exactly. Sumiko, while you're here, before you get on the topic of Sin, she's saved for later, and you will be first, and then Amelia will be next, and then we'll run down the line of characters. And then last will be Onyx. Let's talk about the new characters that you have created, starting in whatever order you want to do.
For the second gen, I have Felicity, who's my slime girl. Kind of an enigma. No one really knows where she came from, only that her parents happen to be a cat and a werewolf. And
Makes sense. Cat and a werewolf make a slime.
Kind of there.
Science.
Yes.
Science.
She ended up becoming a part of the Darks and Seraphim along with her cousins. And that's that. Her partner characters happen to be her sisters. And then there's Fate and Destiny, who are the twins.
Let's talk about their personalities. Say a little about them, what they want to do.
They're kind of polar opposites. Like, Fate is a bookworm. He's very intelligent, very calculating, whereas Destiny is sort of just a bull. She kind of runs right into things without really thinking, and the sight of Mara just gets her heart throbbing, flushed face, stuttering.
I was going to say something bad, however, I will keep my thoughts to myself.
I was gonna say, is Dawn in this fucking podcast? What is this smut? Like, that's what I was gonna say, but...
Actually, Mara is one of my characters.
Yeah, Mara's one of Frank's characters.
I said Dawn.
I know,
but
there'd be all the smut.
All the smut. I ship it.
You should know better.
if there wasn't something known as the art, of course. Alright. Do you have any other characters you wish to talk about? Before Sid. Obviously, we're going to get to Sid, definitely.
I've been debating about making a couple more characters, but I haven't really put much thought into it yet. I might be saving them for Gen 3, but that'll come whenever it comes.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Are you still going to play your Gen 1 character?
I actually have a couple of those. Some of them have been partially retired until people request they be played with, like Karahito and...
I want her soon, by the way.
Hmm?
I said I want her soon, by the way, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah. And then there's Sumi and Faith. I want to get in there as the leader to Wonderland. I just need to work a little more on her. And then there's Clarice, who is another member of the Darks and Seraphim, who's my muted, partially blind summoner. Yes.
Okay. I just ask because I'm still going to be playing my Gen 1s for, like, probably forever nowadays.
Yeah. Sumi has been the one character that I've grown very attached to, so I don't think I'm ever going to
So I
drop
have many
her.
others on site.
Yeah.
Right? It's very addicting to play like a very special character.
You find
Everyone
that one
wants-
you just click with.
How do you feel about everyone on the site wanting to have you as their big sister?
Actually, that's kind of been something that I've grown up with, like, all throughout, like, middle school and high school. I've always been everyone's big sister, so to me, it's not all that awkward. For me, it's sort of flattering, but at the same time, it's like, so many people. What do you do? You know?
So, are you our site Genova?
Hmm?
Are you our site's Genova from like FF7?
I guess so. As long as everyone doesn't start calling me mother, you know.
That'll be a thing now.
Where's Kinos?
I'm here.
Okay.
Just
So you-
Kinos just doesn't have any questions right now. So cool. Can you talk now?
That's a no.
All right. So cool is still not talking. So
Do you want to talk about Apocalypse, Frank? Maybe just say a little bit, and then we could probably formulate questions from the information you reveal to us.
Wait, did it register? What did register? What's he talking about on the chat?
I think he thinks that we heard him talk, but we did not.
Oh, we did not.
No, we didn't.
Didn't hear you talk again.
But if you type it up, then we can,
I will be Cool's voice.
yeah,
That works.
Oh,
for
Alright,
now,
this,
until it gets
this
fixed.
is gonna be great.
All right. I guess from the beginning, Frank,
right.
what kind of gave you the idea to make Apocalypse in general?
What gave me the idea to make Apocalypse? Well, in the very beginning, Apocalypse was actually only supposed to be 3 characters. Apocalypse originally was supposed to be Onyx, Death, and just a character named Kuro, because I was given the idea by my girlfriend at the time, because she was like, okay, since you have to get rid of these characters, why don't you try out a new group thing that you can like do at the site? And then I was like talking to her about it, and she was like, well, how about this guy? And then she sent me this FC, and it's actually the current FC that I'm using on site for Kuro right now, the one where he has the snakes and his hands are bloody. And initially, Kuro was actually supposed to be the leader, and Onyx was supposed to be one of the sub people. However, going later into it, I decided that the lava user would be the head guy. So that was the initial plan, and then I decided, what's a thing that is... And it's kind of funny. Originally, I didn't know that much about the horses of the Apocalypse. I was just like, wait a second, why don't I just try this? I mean, there's a whole bunch of other renditions of them. I mean, the worst I can do is just do absolutely horrible, and then they'll slowly like fade into like the outskirts of the internet. And then it turned out I didn't do that bad.
Continue to grow and prosper.
Love you, support you.
So, what would you say your achievements were with the original group of Apocalypse? You know what I mean? For people who don't know and weren't on the old site, give us like the highlights.
Well, the original group of Apocalypse, I'd say that their achievements were that whether you thought they were overpowered, whether you thought that they were underpowered, whether you thought that they were
I just think they're
annoying,
overrated, but that's
or whether you thought they were overrated, they did make an impact on site, which was their goal. That was the overall goal, was to create an impact. Worlds were destroyed by them. Regardless of how it happened, the worlds were destroyed. And eventually people began to realize there was this group that was destroying things, and they weren't going to stop until their demands were met. But unfortunately, their demands were, all of you have to die. Which kind of is a hard demand to follow.
Yeah.
Did you like the reception that it was getting from the users at the time to you as a writer, as well as the group in general when you were writing them?
I'm pretty sure Frank fed on the hatred. I'm pretty sure.
I lived off that hatred.
Drank
Yeah,
it all in.
Every comment, everything, I loved it. I think it was absolutely perfect because it was what I wanted. I didn't expect
He's
this
just an
group to
attention
come.
whore. He's like, yes, pay attention to me. Don't let him lie to you.
That's not the case at all. Because, like, initially I realized when I was making school, I was like, no one's going to like them. Everyone's going to hate them. But, like, the hate that eventually came, I did not see that coming at all. The hate that eventually happened, I didn't see that coming at all.
Did it kind of influence your character's kind of development differently than what you originally
Actually, yes, it did. The original case of Apocalypse was that they were supposed to, and actually I talked much about this to both Xlix or otherwise on the other side he was known as Xlix, however we call him Joe, and on the other side she was known as Yuki, but her actual name is Victoria. I talked to Joe and Victoria a lot about this, and also Ophelia, who was also known as Livy. I talked to all three of them about this, and with all three of them, like, I came to the conclusion that Apocalypse was supposed to disband and they were supposed to kill each other because they were supposed to, like, have tensions inside the group. However, it got to the point where, like, the hate for them became so great and that everyone was just waiting for that moment so that they wouldn't have to fight them or do anything, that it got to the point where I was like, you know what? No, they're not going to disband. No. And I made a personal call as an author, which I kind of, in a way, regret to not have them disband, because I think having them disband but not die would have been better than them being together this entire time for, like, their story personally. So that's, like, one way that, like, the site influenced them.
Can you briefly describe them separately, as just for people who don't want to read through as much?
Okay, let's see if I can describe them separately. Well, describing them separately, I wanted the two, not the only two members of Apocalypse I don't RP myself, to, like, describe theirs first, and that's why I'm going to turn it to both Jasmine and Cool for this one. And we'll leave it.
Cool has something to say, I guess. My existence is suffering. If there is a Shangri-La, please let the Rainbow Connection restore my microphone. Ooh, I'm a whiny bitch.
Jesus. All right, so we're gonna start with Sumi, and we'll actually, I think we should start with the one topic that Apocalypse is slowly appearing in, called Realtor Meeting, because a lot of people don't know what's going on in that topic, but they're, like, interested in it because that's where, like, Apocalypse members are showing up. So would it be cool if we start with that before we go into the characters?
Fine with me.
Sure.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So in the topic Realtor Meeting, this topic was initially meant out to start out, like, because it's funny, I talked to Don a lot about this topic, and it was initially supposed to start out as he believed it was going to start out as a filler topic, that nothing important was going to happen in it, that it was just someone meeting with like, a realtor, and that was it. That was going to be the end of it. It was going to be done. So after that, so the topic has been going on for a little bit, and a couple things happened in it. First off, aside from the whole house thing, 2 people have died in it, both of them turning out to be Neptune, another character who has followed Apocalypse very closely for about 2 sites now.
A long-ass time.
A very long time. Like, Neptune is, in short, the main head of Apocalypse is the character Onyx. And Neptune is basically I'm going to hate this comparison. Everyone's going to hate me for saying it. The Sasuke to Onyx's Naruto.
Shut up!
Hey.
Oh my
Neptune
God.
isn't dead yet. I don't think actually.
Wait, did
Wait.
Neptune die? I don't recall him dying. At least not yet, LOL.
British now?
Crikey, why do I have an accent? Asmot, you piece of shit. LMAO.
Okay.
Anyways.
So, in order to understand what's going on in Realtor Meeting, you need to understand the relationship between Onyx and Neptune. So, in the original universe that both Onyx and Neptune came from, Neptune was one of the first people assigned to take out like a project which was called the threat to the universe, which was not the universe, the Earth at that time, which was known as Apocalypse. After they basically killed the president of the United States and killed the Queen. In a nutshell, he
Wait.
failed.
Was that Demon Ondu?
Yes, that was Demon Ondu.
Wait, didn't the an Asmot fight an iteration of Asmot fight you in that universe?
Yeah, you were supposed to die in one hit, but you didn't take the hit.
Wait, so does that mean if like I'll talk to you about something later.
Yeah, if you would have, that means if you would have killed it, none of this would have happened.
Hey,
God damn it, Asmot.
I'm sorry. He had lava. That shit's hot. Bro, it's so... Dude, no, seriously, like, all I had was webs. I didn't know how to fight it. I'm so serious. Like, what can I don't know, man.
It was at the time where we didn't know how to fight lava.
All I had
So-
was webs. I was Spider-Man.
On the Demon Ondu site, Neptune is assigned to this group. That's why if you look at Neptune's profile, you'll see other people, and you'll see the name Neptune, like, highlighted in green. Those other people were other people that were tasked to take down the Apocalypse group, but unfortunately failed. So, on the Demon Ondu site, Earth was destroyed. And then from there, both Onyx and Neptune went to the Kingdom Hearts site. And once again, Neptune tried his best to stop Apocalypse there. However, on a certain event that happened on Destiny Islands, he ends up going into a coma because of one of his attacks. He starts a gigantic tornado, which actually does end up killing a member of Apocalypse. It's just that that member was a gigantic stuffed bunny.
Mm. R.I.P. Mr. Snuggles.
You did not want to get snuggled by that thing, alright? You didn't want anything that thing had. Like, nothing.
As this is important, related.
Alright, guys. Rip Snuggles. He died for your sins! Alright, that's it. That's all you get, cool. You're not saying funny shit. I'm bored. Right, keep talking, Frank.
Alright. So, what happens it was during a hostile takeover on Destiny Islands, Neptune conjured up a gigantic storm, basically a huge storm, like island-destroying storm. And
So you're saying there was a storm sky?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm glad there's no storm sky too.
I'm glad.
That's
So,
exactly what I say when I hear storm sky. So y'all all get points in responding.
oh god. So, after this storm, Neptune goes into a coma, and the character on the site, Oriel, who he was with, and who was also owner, who was the leader of Destiny Islands at the time, she takes care of him. And in short, at one point, like for a couple weeks, he goes into like this flat state where she just assumes that he's dead. So she basically gives him a proper burial. She pushes him out to sea. And so he sinks into the sea, and then he wakes up in the Mirage Heart site. So from here, he ends up finding a woman who's already had a child. Her name is Monique. Don't know why that name was chosen.
Wait a minute, what?
Yeah,
What?
Joe decided to name Neptune's wife on this site Monique.
Okay, why do you think that is?
Because the name of Onyx's daughter is Victoria.
Okay, but what does that have? What is the
name
what is
of
the
the
comparison between the two?
you see the name Victoria is
Uh-huh.
Yuki's actual name.
Oh, okay,
But-
right. And so you're
but-
saying there's like a love connection between
No,
Joe.
it's
What,
just
what,
that
what are you saying?
Joe wanted me to change the name of Victoria, even though she's had that name for like God knows how long. He's like, change the name, or I'm making my wife's name Moni, and you're killing Moni.
Okay,
And I was
why,
like,
well, why is that? Why? What's the joke?
it's kind of a personal joke. If you
Okay,
would like,
okay.
I will like
No, it's fine.
tell
it's
you
fine.
like a private thing.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. I was just wondering. I was just an asshole. All right. Okay, so I have something to relay, guys. I have something to relay.
All right.
Neptune's son deserved to die for his terrible one-liner. Thank you, cool. And Neptune should be torn apart like Snuggles was in retribution for fathering such an evil, vile creature. Was that really worth my time?
Yes.
I don't know.
You offered to be his voice.
Oh man, I'm regretting. I have a lot of regret in my life. Alright.
Never
Oh,
regrets
go on,
anything else in
Frank.
his life.
I'm
This is
sorry.
what he regrets.
I'm sorry, Frank.
All right. So there's a reason why I'm telling you all this, because realtor meeting won't make sense unless you know this. Unfortunately, I'm sorry if it's getting boring for some of you guys.
No. Please continue.
Jesus. So I'm sorry if this is getting boring, Lenny, Junos, and or Jasmine. So what happens is he appears in the Mirage Hearts universe, and so he ends up meeting Monique, and him and Monique, they hit it off. He likes her, but like obviously he's failed twice in 2 other universes. So he's like, listen, you don't want to be near me. Bad things happen to universes that are near me. And she's just like, I have no idea what you're talking about, but whatever. So I think the only real problem that they had was that Neptune didn't father Monique's son. Like she already had a son when she met Neptune. However, Neptune was all for it. He wanted a family. So for 20 years, this guy has this family. And he lives on Disney Island. He works as a fisherman. And that's when we cut to realtor meeting. We see on realtor meeting, the one who was signing for the house was deaf.
Holy
Or
fuck, you
another
just now started to explain what realtor meeting is?
Yes.
Damn it, Frank!
Realtor meeting.
What are you talking about?
It's story time!
Oh my fucking god.
All right. So in realtor meeting, that's where we finally cut to where the house is being bought. So when Oriya, or also who's known as Death, was buying the house, she senses someone from her past, which is Shiru, because this is the Shiru from the Kingdom Hearts universe. Mind you, the last time she saw Shiru, it was after his fight with Onyx on that site, which Onyx won, but barely. He basically almost killed Onyx. So her response to that was to not only to castrate his corpse, but to crucify it. So the entire time, remember on the old site how, and before this is a master prank on me and my audio is actually going through. So on the old site, if you remember, there was a meeting on how to get rid of Onyx, and then they showed, and then like, I think it was Shiru. Yeah, Shiru's body was brought to it, crucified, and that turned out to be Onyx. Shiru's regular corpse was always crucified, and they kept it inside Onyx's room. But that was just something that never got out. So when she finds out that that corpse was a fake, she gets incredibly pissed off. And
Frank,
what's up?
10 more words.
This is a lot of background before we got to introduce the characters.
I know it's a lot of background, okay?
Stop, then you know. Like, quit it. Like, just come on, man. What's going on?
In short, that's why we have an entire podcast for them to relay that. He's got a point. That is why we have it. I told you
Alright, Frank,
before.
just keep going. Just keep jerking yourself off.
All right,
Oh
so
my god.
can
So
you?
in short, what happens is basically the only reason why I explained that was because Death runs into Neptune's family, and she basically finds them in a lone spot and kills them. She just flats out murders them, obliterates them, and
Oh my
whatnot.
god.
Hashtag Death did nothing wrong. So what she does is she shoots his son in the face and splits his skull open,
Jay.
and then she just begins.
No, look, she just brought them closer to God.
Yeah,
She saved
really.
them.
That's all she
She
did.
saved them. That's all she did.
They got to heaven early. They fucking won the lotto. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's the lottery right there.
So in short, she shot his son open and split his skull open. And while the mother was trying to keep his skull together, she began to get punched in the face, and then eventually she was impaled right in front of her husband. And her last words to her husband were, "Emil, where were you?"
Hashtag edgelord.
Oh my god.
So after this, yeah, now everyone's paying attention after they hear Bruce Gruesome murder. Everyone wants to pay attention. Like, gruesome murder, what? So after the murder happens, she realizes, oh, hey, look, Neptune's here, but she doesn't really care. She's just like, oh, hey, did you know them? You're kind of late. Yeah, might be. So how you been? And she turns around, and she's just, like, kind of bored. And then that was kind of her mistake.
I can relate to her feelings. All right, I can. A lot of sympathy, empathy, whatever you want to call it, going on right now.
So she wasn't really bored. She was just more like, phew, I feel good about myself after brutally murdering these two. So what happens is Neptune kind of rips off her left leg and then ends up branding her. And
Just
that's
kind
what,
of.
Wait, what was the brand? What did he do?
Well, it's similar to Mark of the Angel, which I never got into, and I'm not going to get into because that's another 30 minutes.
Yeah, hey, fuck, please no.
I said I'm not going to.
I said anything. Just continue. Forget
But
it.
in short, he branded her as in he put his mark on her, which he knows she absolutely despises. Like, she's already sitting
that's
there.
it. Like, it's just like a disrespectful.
It's not only that; it's something
Can he like
else.
scry on her? Can he just like know where she is anytime, find her
Yes,
anytime? Okay, I can see
but
that.
there's also
he also,
something
yeah,
else.
something like some kind of like bomb or something.
You
That's what I
see,
would
in
do.
short, it hasn't been revealed yet in character, but what he did was he life linked himself with her.
Ooh. Hey man, Destiny Bond. Always have Wobbuffets do that to me. I feel you.
So in short,
Good old Wobbuffet.
if the two members of Apocalypse right now that are fighting Neptune kill Neptune, they're going to kill her.
Okay.
And that's where we're at in that topic right now.
I had a question real quick. If I remember correctly, did Neptune, in one of his posts, did he refer to Death as the woman that could have been?
Yes.
Oh. So they had a love thing before?
It wasn't technically death, but it was the body of death. Because, well, you yourself, you know about the Mark of the Angel, right, Kinos?
Oh, yeah.
In short, Death has the body of another character on Demon ONG called Oriel. She was the very first Mark of the Angel
I see.
that got taken over. So in short, he was going out with Oriel, and Onyx gave her the Mark of the Angel. She was the first one to lose to the Mark of the Angel and lose her body to that personality
Okay.
that grew. And Death is the very first personality that grew, so she considers herself like basically number 2, being
It's
second to
pretty-
only one.
It's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. I like that. It's pretty neat. So, What are your future plans? You've just been talking about what has happened. What will happen?
Before we get to that,
Give us a little taste. Just give us a little taste. A little.
I will. Before we
Little
get to
taste.
that, though, I
Little
think
nibble.
it's fair to let other members of Apocalypse talk about themselves, since I just went on that long rant, which I told you guys was gonna be long, and no one believes me.
God, no one do that. What he just did.
Well, I was
Please.
going to save the character interactions part, like later in the middle of the podcast after we got more of an intro of like who they are, what are they, and stuff. But yeah, okay.
I mean, I'll explain that. It's just that, it takes a while.
Okay. Jasmine, can you describe your character?
My member of Apocalypse is Sin, which from KH was my original Sumi, who had pretty much lost herself to all the insanity that she subjected herself to, and gave in to the teachings of the family, and from there just sort of melded into their ways. Like, they trained her and she started using her voice and various weapons and became very tolerable to pain, and as along the way became a masochist of sorts.
A masochist and a sadist kind of like a masochist for two and then a sadist for everyone else.
Yeah. Though she's very obedient to the family, so if they tell her not to do something, she's not going to do it.
So she's a slave.
I feel like she's more like a well-trained dog.
Very much so. Like, she's a puppy towards the family, but an attack dog towards anyone
Yeah,
else.
she's rough, you know?
Yeah, rough.
I
Wow.
think the best, shortest way to explain Sin would be, here's this character who is at the end of her rope, and she desperately wanted a family, and unfortunately she met the wrong family.
Yeah, that's what it was. Because the very first topic that I had with Apocalypse was actually with Death and a Christmas topic where she was throwing a party and Death had came along and they started singing together and they had bonded that way. So it started off really innocent and she befriended everyone,
And they were just like, hey, we're going to need you to cut this guy's throat open.
No, I think the first violent act she did was against Mahone's character, Faye, the little witch character.
Oh, yeah. I remember that one.
Practically killed her.
Yeah, you did.
Almost, not quite.
Hey, could I just interject for something?
Yeah.
5 seconds. So Zahark logged in the last 24 hours. Has anybody talked to him?
Actually, no.
Kind
yeah,
of.
I just noticed. Yeah. Wait. Yeah. Is he coming back?
Oh, he only talks to me on Facebook and see how he's doing and stuff. I didn't talk about the site with him.
Oh, okay. I just noticed he had logged in the past 24 hours, and I was like, dude, that'd be really cool to have an OG come back.
He's probably enjoying his time with his wife and stuff.
Right.
He has a wife now?
Yeah. Isn't that like the whole reason he left?
I never even
He
knew.
had life to focus on and shit like that.
I never even knew. The only one I knew that had a wife was Leon.
I thought you were about to say Smitty. Hey, no, dude, Smitty, dude, he's working. He's doing that League of Legends coaching. He'll get you places.
Oh, I love League.
He'll get you places, man.
Why does it sound like you're being so sarcastic?
No, see, I wouldn't be sarcastic. I'm not trying to get MH hacked. I'm not trying to get my whole email hacked, you know. I don't want beef. I don't want beef. I'm bitch made. Don't come at me with that, Smitty.
Who is the second Apocalypse character not from Frank?
Yeah, who is that?
The second character, not from me, is Amelia. Amelia, if you would please talk about yourself now.
Moy. Alright, I gotta
Hype it out.
rely off Asmot. LOL.
Did you want to type while we kind of ask more questions then, and you
So
go get your
anyway.
bearings?
I don't know. I just wanted to. What do you want to do, Cool?
Do you want to just type it all out and then like we'll read it all at one school and we'll
Yeah, give
talk
us like a
about other things?
biography, and then I'll
Yeah,
narrate
so he'll type it all out. So for now, let's keep going with this.
Okay.
it. So I have a. It would be cool if I asked a question, lady.
Yeah,
Sure.
sure.
Yeah.
So how does members have entered quote unquote in the past? What is it? Is it a group focused on expansion, or are they more focused on like applying their presence and for their own benefit throughout the world? If that makes sense. I'm trying to
Actually,
be as
that
vague
makes
as possible.
complete sense. That
Yeah.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
All right, cool.
Okay, so to join Apocalypse, it has to be a very, very unique character.
Yeah. Hey, I want to
say
talk
the
to you
least.
about it later. By the way.
Sure,
I wanna talk-
it has to be a very unique character of sorts.
Alright.
They can't be too far out there. If I have to choose one character that's really far out there right now, it would be Vex. Like a character like Vex isn't joining Apocalypse
Who's
because
Vex?
the guy that wants to kill everyone and he classifies that as saving them
Oh, okay.
because that's already too out there to them. Like to them, they'd rather mold you to there. If you're already there, then they don't want you like that.
Because then you're not, the molding is part of the controlling process.
Exactly, because there's a certain element of control, but at the same time, it's also a family. It's a very cult-like manner. It's a cult-like manner where they're controlling you, but also there's like this family element to it. That's why
like
they call themselves a family.
It's like those. It's just like a regular cult, really. Like that's just how like Stockholm syndrome-esque, or maybe even like the suicide cults.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're all like, oh, hey, yeah, we're gonna. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like it's like that group mob mentality.
It's very much like a mob mentality. Like, and they themselves feel as though there's nothing wrong with it.
They're sociopaths.
Well, I mean, morality is so subjective. Like, can you really even say for sure that what they're doing is wrong? Like, we don't even know if they're gonna, destroy everything again.
Exactly.
Again.
No,
But-
correct me if I'm wrong, but they're being here in MH. It's not supposed to be violent at all. It's like they're there to exist, but if antagonized, they'll attack.
Exactly. That's actually a really good point that I was going to bring up later on, that currently their residence on MH is their existence, because the old universe, the one where they control it, they're done. They succeeded. Everything else there is gone. And so they were like, we succeeded on this one, it's time to move. So what happens is they're moving here, but just like before with Kingdom Hearts, if the worlds themselves are allowing like themselves to be run and they're in a good position and it's all right, then they're not going to interfere. They're going to allow it to continue, because that was their whole thing with Kingdom Hearts, that children were running the world. The worlds were in shambles. It was shit. And they were just like, holy fuck. Well, it's time to send you guys to a better place. It's just the problem is the better place is kind of, that whole thing. So their presence in the worlds, I believe right now are going to be, to answer your question, Nova, I believe it's going to be mostly shaped by the character Shiru, because Shiru knows about them, and he has already sensed death on Destiny Islands. So later on, and Shiru being the Underlord and having like an in with Marigold, eventually it's gonna be known that these people are here, and it's gonna be a matter of, I believe, who fires the first shot.
Yeah, and with Sin being an alternate dimension of Sumiko, they look identical, and it's going to become a problem eventually for one party or another.
Also, don't forget, Kuro is an exact replica of
Garth.
Garth, and Garth has a son and a wife, so that is no problem for them.
Yeah.
So I think that might answer your answer. So it might answer. I'm not sure.
Please.
Sorry, what's up?
Did
Did
that
we-
answer your question?
My brother came in and was talking to me. I had to mute, and then I just forgot. I'm sorry, I don't know what my question was. Or what Vera said.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
Oh, I remember my question, actually. It's coming back to me. The if they want to expand or if they don't. Yeah, I got it actually in the first, like, 3... They're a neutral force, I guess.
Not exactly.
Not
neutral.
exactly, but, like, they're not, they're not gonna...
They're
how
not
things said, they're not
seeking.
gonna... Yeah, they're not... Yeah. I know what I'm saying.
If
I
you
don't
fire
even
the
know.
first cannon, don't be surprised when we fire the gigantic world-destroying cannon.
The Death Star.
So, would they blame only the users, or like, what if an animal attacks them, or like the mindless, heartless? I guess would they still blame the entire universe then over it?
I think they might end up blaming a leader of the Heartless if a Heartless attacks them.
Oh, god damn it!
Which Lennis would be familiar with Apocalypse as well, wouldn't he?
Different projection of Lennis. He is born in this universe. He's not connected to his other selves.
Gotcha.
I mean, maybe they'd recognize him, but he'd be like, I don't know you people. I was not born where you were.
Who are you? Go away.
I mean, like,
attack you, I swear, please leave me alone.
so if a lion attacked you, you go after, like, Pride Lands because you might think it's the king of the lions?
If a lion attacked us, then War will probably take it and throw it somewhere.
Just against the wall somewhere.
Like, you gotta remember, these people are by no chance pushovers. It has to be something big for them to go after the leader. So, like, in this case, if a dark side, which is impossible to get on Destiny Islands because of the cornerstone of light there, were to come and destroy their home, destroy their property, and everything that they have, that would mean, okay, we're going to the leader and we're gonna fucking kill him.
So what about this is just personal right now, but like, what if like one of the raid bosses raids attacked you and you guys blamed like a leader or not the right one?
Well, after we probably kill it, we're probably like, whoops, our bad.
Ugh.
But you're a Heartless, so you only die to Keyblades. Don't worry, none of us have a Keyblade.
I thought
sorry,
Onyx-
I gotta dip out early.
Alright,
Sorry.
dude.
Alright.
Okay.
Bye.
It was fun while I was on, man. Later.
Alright, take care.
Didn't Onyx have a Keyblade on KH?
No. Onyx is definitely not worthy of Keyblade.
Or any of them? Okay. Sorry, back to the podcast. So
No, you're absolutely fine.
what brought you to bring them back as in, like, right now comparatively? Like, why did you make them when you first came back?
Testing.
Hello.
Oh, cool. You're
Wait,
back.
it's working? It's finally working? Oh my god. This entire time. Jeez. So it's finally working.
But you
That's
can
right.
explain Amelia in a little bit.
Alright. Yeah. Someone must have taken pity on me. I don't know.
After
like,
Blaze
what
left, you can
It's all
work.
Blaze's fault.
It's Asmod's fault, yeah. Correlation equals causation.
Leave Blaze alone. Leave Blaze alone.
Fuck you, Asmod, ruining this podcast.
Alright. So to answer your question, what made me want to bring them back now opposed to before? Before, when I initially joined, it's obvious the Onyx account has been here since I very first joined the site. And Onyx originally was supposed to come back, but I think the reason why I never brought them back was the fact that a lot of people were expecting and wanted them to come back for the wrong reasons. A lot of people wanted them to be brought back, not to interact with them, not to do stuff with them, but just to kill them. Just so they could say, hey, you're not strong, I'm strong, and I can beat you into the ground, you little bitch. And that's what a lot of people initially wanted them back for. I know that's why Jess wanted them back. That's not why Alex wanted them back, but he basically did say to me in a nutshell, like, yo, I'll fuck you up. And I know a lot of others who were on the site from the past, they basically wanted them back solely for that reason. I was like, I'm not going to bring them back for that. What the hell? That's not fun. That's annoying as shit. So, I think the reason why they were brought back now was because, another reason was because Sumi was interested in RPing the character Sin. When I asked her, hey, what do you think about if I were to bring back Apocalypse? And she was like, oh, hell yeah, I'm all for that. Because she wants to RP
Because
the
I never
character
got
Sin.
my evil period with Sumi when she was supposed to go off the deep end, but that ended up happening during the time skip.
Yeah. And also, fun fact, Apocalypse coming back also kind of brought Cool back to the set. He was like, yo, Apocalypse coming back? Like, yo, I'm all down for that. Like, can I RP the character that I had in there, like, older now? And he was like, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not?
I was hyped for that. Like, that definitely sped up the process of my return. Like,
So I think, like, a lot of it was that Apocalypse could be more not just me, but we.
Yeah.
Like, I've always found Cool's, but I gotta say something. I've always found Cool's, like, dissension into Apocalypse kind of funny, because originally Cool was the number one I'ma kill fucking Onyx. Yeah. And then eventually it got to the point where he was just like, well, can't beat him, join him.
Yeah.
When his world got destroyed twice, they took his world from him, and then it was just like, fuck it. Need 2 player guys. And for the longest time, I thought he was like joining the ranks and he was gonna like try and kill us from the inside. And I was like, oh no, he actually wants to do this.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess that can bring us to Cool right after.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Cool, please tell us about your character in Apocalypse, what that character means to Apocalypse, and what Apocalypse means to that character.
Alright, so my character in Apocalypse is Amelia Moon, who was on the old side, of course. She joined up with Apocalypse there. When she initially joined them, she was around 9 years old because of the like 20-year time skip. She's currently 29 now. And on the old site, her first exposure to Apocalypse was when she was sort of traveling the worlds, because Amelia always had this latent magical potential, and she perfected the ability, well, not perfected, but she learned how to use magic, like she sort of self-taught herself. And in the later years of her childhood, she started roaming around the world simply to alleviate boredom. And by pure coincidence, she came across Disney Town in Onyx's second attack against it, and she witnessed like the destruction he spread, and she listened to like the words that he had stated, and I guess you could say she sort of went insane. And you could argue it was that she, as a coping mechanism to deal with like seeing death firsthand, like this was the first experience she really had with death. Like, not the character, but the concept. I guess you could say that she used it as a sort of coping mechanism to help keep herself sane. And, like, she came to believe in Onyx and the ideals he preached, like, about paradise, about saving people, about Shangri-La, about the state of the world. And the more she thought about it, she ended up agreeing with him. And so she eventually decided that to use her magical abilities to kill her family, because they were like having a reunion. So she decided that she was going to quote unquote save them and go out and search for Onyx and try to help him save the rest of the universe. And she went to this reunion, and none of her family really knew she had magical abilities except for her sister, who wouldn't even think of her doing such a thing. And she slaughtered them, more or less. and in their blood she writ on the walls a single word, which was believe. And so after that, she sort of went out and tried searching for Onyx and his family. And during the course of this, she attacked worlds multiple times. She attacked Destiny Islands once on her own, using a bunny rabbit, which she brought to life, Mr. Snuggles, who, because she has the ability to instill inanimate objects with life and newfound abilities and sort of give them their own magical abilities as well as their own strengths that they otherwise wouldn't have. And so Snuggles, when she interacted with him, would turn into like a 50-foot tall, gigantic stuffed animal of death that breathed fucking fire. And she basically went on a rampage until Mohan, Alexander, and I think Oriel stopped her. And following that, she managed to live alongside Snuggles. They didn't manage to bring Snuggles down. And her first real interaction with Apocalypse was when she went to the Land of the Dragons. And Etzalix had come there as well and was basically talking with them, as well as Basil, Mohan's character at the time. And she basically ran up and was like, yo, can I join? And at first there was like reluctance, particularly from Death, if I recall correctly. But eventually, as she started to like prove herself and began to get some renown of her own, like through her attacks on the worlds, they just let her in. And she moved into the world that never was after Onyx took over, and continued her random rampages and simply working with Apocalypse. As mentioned earlier, Snuggles got destroyed in her second attack on Destiny Islands, which was originally when she came to Oriel's defense. And Neptune unleashed a storm against like everyone around him, and it tore Snuggles to pieces. And she was initially devastated, but she learned to cope with it with time, thanks in part to the ideals Onyx preached about there being Shangri-La. Even though she didn't want to say goodbye, she thought he was in a better place. And it helped that Onyx himself had created a new stuffed animal for her, which she deemed Cuddles, in honor of Mr. Snuggles. And yeah, that was basically her involvement with the old side. Like, she would go around and she'd occasionally end up killing some people who I don't know how she ended up killing them, but like, man, like a lot of people ended up dying to her, actually, like not just like NPCs, like, but like 5 PCs at least. So yeah. And so post time skip, she's basically been living her life with her family, and she decided to cross over with them naturally. And she's around 29 years old now, because of the 20-year time skip. She's more or less the same in some ways, but she's also changed and developed naturally over the years. And she's gotten a bit less energetic, but as a consequence, she's more lazy. Although she still is eager to save people, quote unquote, save people and help her family. She still is fanatically devoted to Onyx's ideals and is very eager to help bring others to the paradise she believes in. But at the same time, like Sin in a way, she isn't going to betray her family's trust. So if, for instance, Death or Onyx or any of her family members said, hey, don't save people, like, then she'd stop. I mean, she'd have some reservations about it, but ultimately she wouldn't voice them, and she'd go along with Apocalypse as well, because she believes in her family and she values them greatly. And that leads me to segue into what she means to them. Amelia is one of the children of the family, I'd say. She is sort of Onyx's daughter and thereby Death's daughter as well, in a way. Which makes her Victoria's sister and the niece to War, Pestilence, Death, not death, war, pestilence, and famine, or Isabel. And
Isabel's more of a grandmother.
yeah, Isabel's more of a grandmother. My bad. Yeah, she. So yeah, that's basically her involvement with Apocalypse, and yeah, she more or less follows them around and does what they ask of her.
Told you guys it would be long.
Yeah, like that was like at least 10 minutes on its own right. Or at least
Told
it
you
felt like it.
No one believes me. No one believes me when I say it's gonna be a while.
It's interesting that the two characters who weren't made originally in the team feels like fanatically devoted to the family too. It's like almost a like religious love for
Oh
them.
yeah, it's definitely a religious love, at least for Amelia. Like she refers, even now she still refers to Onyx as Mr. Messiah, like, and believes in like paradise and the sword. And the religious aspect was definitely what attracted her first.
I think for Sin, it's more of a familial love and kind of a carnal love, like,
Which is kind of even more fucked up if you think about it.
because
Especially
she
for
calls Onyx and Death her big brother and sister, but at the same time.
She's fucking her big brother and sister.
Yeah.
So Death and Onyx are kind of like her lovers in a way, so seeing Death get fucked up like that, she's really pissed off.
It's literally incest for her. To say it's literally incest. It's love and incest. And most of the time, I remember, I think the best reaction to that was Kia, and she was like, "That's fucking disgusting," and all I said was, "That's the point."
Yeah.
Are you going to let the site kind of shape where direction you plan from the go, or do you already have kind of like a set, I want to do this and see where it takes me type of thing, or like I want to do this for sure?
Do you mean me or like Apocalypse in general, or like
All of
Frank?
you in general, since you're all pretty much Apocalypse.
Yeah. I'm more or less just rolling with whatever Apocalypse goes with. I'm pretty much up for anything when it comes to Amelia. I have some plans for her, but they're vastly subject to change, and I wouldn't like go. And mainly, I'm just rolling around at the speed of sound. Got places to go. Gotta follow where.
Oh my baby, can't believe I gotta keep moving on. Guess one man's ahead on me. Oh man, find out. You guys keep on moving on. No time for questions, follow my plan. I'm sorry.
It's perfectly fine. Continue.
That should be the national anthem. I would always stand for that. Okay, so to answer your question, Lenny, Apocalypse, like I said earlier, they're very right now. If you shoot the first gun, we're gonna fire the world-destroying gun. So they're very. There are some of them, as I said, they have a mansion right now on Destiny Islands. Destiny Islands right now has two forces on it. It has Vera on it, who in his own rights is a god in power, and it has Sumiko and Gwen, who are very close to the Dark Suns. They are the Dark Suns now, in a nutshell.
Yeah.
So they already know this through Oriah, who has been scouting Destiny Islands, and the only reason they're going there is literally because that's like the world Onyx wants to live on now. Because he's lived in like a castle for like 20 plus years. He's like, you know what, I want to be somewhere else, a little more, somewhere nice, but like, you know, not castle and like medieval and junk. So that's why they're living where they are now.
And then you just have Gwen and Sumi's huge mansion on the beach.
And it's just like, huh.
But then that raises the question: if there is no trigger, what are you gonna do with like your group? Like, if there's nothing that irritates you guys, how are you gonna RP them? It's like everyday lives, or
That's where we get to the fun part, because some of them they need to let loose once in a while, and there are going to be consequences for if they do let loose. Like, for example, there's already been hella consequences for Oriya, or in other words, Death, for killing those two. Her consequences are literally she's already lost a leg, and she's been lifelink to someone that she absolutely despises. And that's the consequences even before she meets the family. So if they do go out and they try to follow this, there are going to be consequences within the family. What those consequences are, at first they're a slap on the wrist, but they can get more and more. I'm not going to say possibly kill. They won't kill members of their own family.
They'll be tortured and tossed in the dungeon.
Something like that. Only for a day, though. They're not a monster to their family. Anyone else, though, yeah, they're in that dungeon for life.
There would be no dungeon time for anyone else.
Only death.
Your own little mafia group.
We're not a mafia. We're a family. Yeah, you don't fuck with the family. We're a family. You don't fuck with the family.
That's a real mafia thing to say.
I don't know what you're talking about, Lucio. Speaking of which, Lucio, you've been kind of quiet. Are you just soaking us all in? Are you bored? Is it?
Yeah, no, I'm just taking it all in.
Okay. By the way, I do want to say this now before we go on with the rest of the characters. I know a lot of my explanation in the beginning was boring, with Neptune talking all that, but I feel as though honestly it needs to get out there, because if it's not, then no one has no idea why the fuck this it's more of questions of, well, where did they come from and all that, and then I'm just oh, they come from da da da, and they're okay, shut the fuck up. So I'd rather just get that whole explanation out there so that eventually people can listen to it and then go back to it if they ever need to. And then if there's any questions, obviously I can be message them and whatnot. Does that make sense? Or
Yeah.
It does. Frank, read the chat, by the way. There's a question for you, but for Frank. Yeah.
I also have my own question.
Lay it on.
More
wait,
towards
which
Frank and-
podcast, which chat am I reading? Google Hangouts?
No, we're just wondering, should we do it this podcast, or should we do another one another day as well? Because this one might be running long.
I think it was expected to be long.
Yeah.
We weren't making an understatement.
We weren't making an understatement. Where am I reading it, by the way?
Jasmine.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Double
He's not home yet, but he wanted to know before rushing home, and the cast has ended. I'll wait until next podcast. We'll see. Haven't had the cake yet. We'll probably be here talking, while he gets here. So I don't think he needs to rush. I don't think he should rush himself.
Oh, no, because he's at a party and he's wanting to take his time, so.
Oh, yeah.
Ask him if the
the
cake is
friends.
chocolate.
I mean, we're
Ask
talking
him
about.
what flavor the cake is.
Is it sin flavored?
Yeah, we don't have to do this all at one go either, because I'm pretty sure I'll have to go to bed eventually too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like doing this with all the big family groups / our peers. I want their story to be kind of interviewed.
Mhm.
I know Don's family is pretty extensive, and a lot of other various people like myself and Vera have kind of assimilated into that family.
Mhm.
No, I'm hyped for Dark Sins versus Apocalypse if that happens. Because I know Marigold's ready. After Shiro told her about Apocalypse and that topic they had, she's yo, I'll fuck their shit up, and it's nah mate, I'll fuck your shit up.
No, what you say? It's hey, I'll fuck your mom. What you say, cheeky cock?
And I know he wanted to, in Gen 3, I know he wanted to pull Darksons out of the universe and have them go back home, but if Apocalypse ends up being too much of a threat, they're going to stick around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I
Ooh, that's
think
interesting.
I should finally get onto like the actual characters of Apocalypse because I've
Yeah.
been kind of, and I think we'll start out with the one character who is like third newest, and that is Yosei, the character who Kinos is very familiar with. All
Am I
right.
supposed to say something?
No, not really. I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
I was just going to her profile, like just like to back up with anything I've ever needed to say for her. Okay, so basically, Yosei in short is I'm just gonna also say their powers because like it doesn't really matter to me if you know the powers or not. Yosei in short, she's Trixie. Because Trixie on the old site during the attack on Neverland, it was Onyx versus Kinos, and Kinos had brought out Ancient Fairy Dragon. That's what I called it. I mean, it wasn't really Ancient Fairy Dragon, but I called it Ancient Fairy Dragon because Ancient Fairy Dragon is awesome. And
Black Rose Dragon.
and it was Ancient Fairy Dragon versus Nabezita, King of Kings. So it's King of Kings versus Nabezita versus Ancient Fairy Dragon. And basically, Trixie came into the center and she was like, I don't want my world to be destroyed. If there's anything I can do, I'll do it. Just please stop this. And in short, Onyx ended up marking her with the mark of the angel. So Yosei is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She is the fourth person to basically lose to Mark of the Angel. In other words, old Trixie died and this was born from her. And what Mark of the Angel does is it's basically your personality, but your personality with this submission to the family. Like you've submitted, you've given up your free will. Like your will is the family's will now, or the apocalypse will. Which is kind of worse than dying because you're still you.
Didn't Trixie try to fight it at first, and after a while, it's just like, fuck it?
Yeah, that's
Oh yeah, I
basically
remember that. She like butchered like a bunch of kids, like a
Yeah.
bunch of lost boys.
Oh my god, that is the best topic ever. No, but that's not the reason why. It's because he did a Frozen parody before she left. And I loved it so much. I still have it on bookmark. And I go sometimes back to read it. I'm just like, Kinos, this is so beautiful.
Thank you.
That's like the best topic. By the way, I was literally waving my hands in the air when I was talking about that topic. I was like, it's the best topic. So yeah, actually, I think the number one thing about Yosei that I like, and it took me hella long time to find, was the face claim for her. Because
It's very pretty. I do like it.
it took long as fuck to find those eyes. Because those eyes are pretty much Trixie's in a nutshell. If you look at the FC for Nyx, and then you look at the FC for Nyx in her 6-7 form, and then you go back and look at the FC for Yosei, that took forever to find those eyes. Just with that little, you see the red on the side of them? It took forever to find that. It took forever. I was looking for a month. A month.
It's really good. I really like it.
It took forever to find that. And the horns are just beautiful. I love the horns. Like, beautiful. Like, I would like if she was wearing more clothes, but members of Apocalypse are very not that
Normal.
positive to clothes. So, like, I was kind of cool with it. But Yosei, in short, is Trixie. She, at this point, is Master Manipulator. She's very similar to Famine. Because this is, because while she was constantly cursing and whatnot, this version of her is very more mature. It's very more, like, it has that air about her of, not a mother, but let's say, you know the aunt that doesn't have kids, but she's still very mature?
The mother type without being a mother.
Yes. Very much like that. But there is occasions if she does get pissed off, she does like show like that old personality that she had. It's just very hard to get her there nowadays, especially since she has like 3 other people usually around her.
Does she still jingle?
I was actually thinking that Kinos was going to ask that first. So I'm just surprised that you asked that first. Yes, she does jingle when seducing
Oh.
or manipulating. How she jingles, I'll let that your minds figure that out.
Jingle, jingle, jingle.
Yeah, I used to actually do that, so I'm glad he's not. I'm gonna write it out.
Wait, what?
I used to actually write out the jingles, so I'm glad that's not happening anymore.
Yeah, the jingles will only get written out if she's trying to get information from someone or something like that. But the main power I have for her right now, and I kind of got to go back to KH to look at old Trixie's powers, is her own ability to shapeshift. She can shapeshift into anything perfectly. Now she copies the scent, she copies the power level, even though she can't fight at that power level because she has like her own set pace. But she can like basically have the illusion of, hey, I'm at this level, don't fuck with me. It's like a bluff.
Oh, who did that? That was beautiful on the screen.
You're welcome.
Wait, what happened?
Beautiful.
What happened?
What a cool screen.
Oh man, people who watch the podcast can see that, right?
I
hope
think
so.
they can.
I hope so.
Yep, they can.
Cool, I love you.
You want to go, man?
Can you send that to Dawn?
I already did.
Yes, I can. Oh, good.
I just did.
Thanks.
All right, so okay, I think that's enough talking about Yosei. Does anyone have any questions about Yosei?
This isn't really about Yosei specifically, but on the old site on KH, there was you would play some RPs or some characters more than others. Some of them got neglected. I think War was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to balance playing all of those Apocalypse characters?
I have noticed, and I've talked to Joe about it actually a lot, that there was a lot of backstory for War that got written in the journal, but it was never RP'd out. And characters like War and Famine were extremely neglected on site when you compared how many topics Death was in.
Mm-hmm.
That's why like I always called Death the poster child, and
Yeah.
like Kuro was somewhere in the middle. So on this site,
He would be at the end because he's too short to be in the middle.
so
How tall is Pestilence exactly?
He's like
he is
5 something.
foot.
Yeah.
He's 5 foot.
Is he shorter than Joe?
No,
And
Joe's 5'2".
5'2".
No, 5'2"? Oh.
Yeah, which is funny because what did you think Joe was? 4'11"?
No, it's like 4'3". 5'3".
Oh my god, I thought you were about to say 4'3". I was like, Jesus. Oh my god. So on this site, that has been one of my main things I've been like basically talking to myself about. Like, listen, Frank, if you're gonna bring them all here, you can't neglect some of them for some. And basically what I plan to do on this site is a lot of characters, usually if an Apocalypse member is in a thing, there's either going to be one of them, or there's going to be 3 of them, there's going to be 4 of them, or there's going to be all of them. It's 1, 3, 4, all. Maybe 1 and 2 sometimes with a Death and Onyx because she always follows him around no matter what. So I want to like maybe possibly rotate them, but I think the number one thing I want to do is ensure none of them are neglected. You know what I mean? That's like the main thing on this site is to ensure like everyone gets their time in the spotlight.
Yeah, because famine and war were pretty neglected on the
Mhm.
other side.
Even though it's funny, they were like two of the main ones inside my journal.
Hmm.
By the way, when I say journal, I mean like there were a lot of stories I wrote out about Apocalypse, but like I did a like off-site, like off the computer, like on a journal and whatnot, and a lot of the stories centered around the war and famine.
Mama and Papa, but don't tell them that in person.
Okay, next character is Isaiah's, or otherwise known as War. Do I really need to discuss it? It's fucking Doomsday. Does anyone even have a question about Isaiah's? Will he hurt you? Yes.
Will it hurt while he's hurting you?
Is he more than just like big muscle, oaf, giant bodyguard?
That's the thing. Isaiah's has never been an oaf. Isaiah's is actually very intelligent. He's just extremely quick to anger, or he was. And over these 20 years, he's worked on that through meditation constantly. And like while he still can enter Berserker, and when he is in Berserker, he loses that. He's just an all-out brute and beast of power. I think, like I say it in his personality, he is power, he breathes power, but most importantly, he respects power. To him, like, strength is respect. And while he obviously loves the family members, outside of that, if he sees something else powerful, he'll respect it.
I've got a question.
What's up?
Is War a member of Team Valor?
I don't think he can hold an iPhone or an Android.
Yeah, good point. Good
You
point.
Make a
Probably
custom
like
phone
Crush.
for him.
What did you say, Lenny?
Make a custom phone for him.
Yeah, we should. Or we need your help. Can't. Need to catch Pikachu.
Oh man, I'm dying. Laughter's the best medicine. I must be the healthiest person on the world.
So, in short, War has never... He was never supposed to come off as an oaf. There were moments when he would enter Berserker form, like, for example, when he found out that Death was raped on Land of Dragons, or after Sir Nicholas attempted to kill Koro, like, he entered Berserker forms. And I think that's, like, his only real two big things. And that's what people barely remember him for that, because he was in so many little times. But I think I want to show a new side of War. Like, it's a little sarcastic. It's a little not straight manish, but it's somewhere in between sarcasm and straight man. But like, that's something else I want to get across now that like he has a second chance to start over.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Death was like raped, wasn't she?
Yeah,
Like-
but she kind of did it on purpose, didn't she?
Yeah, she
Oh yeah.
totally pulled it on purpose so she could speed up Armageddon.
Who raped her again?
Random NPCs.
Random NPCs on LOD. Well, they never actually raped her. She would have killed them if they did that. She just like basically let them tear up her clothes and like get their penises near her.
Ah,
To which there was then an Onyx who was like, "Oh hell no!"
Alright. Next one is Isabella, or otherwise Famine.
Mama.
Are we at 4 or 3 right now?
We are at 3.
Okay, I do have a question after you finish.
You can answer. You can ask the question now if you want.
It might be more of a controversial one as well, so I'm trying to think like how I can word it nicely.
Sure, go ahead.
Talk about Isabella first.
All right. So Isabella, on the old site, she didn't get that much screen time. Obviously, that's like a fact. It's something I can't deny. She didn't get that much screen time, but Isabella has always been a major component in Apocalypse. She's also a major component to the birth of Apocalypse because, in short, she is Onyx's only blood relative. Like, that is Onyx's aunt. Isabella's Onyx's aunt. She's always been an actual member of his family, and she is the sister to Onyx's mother. So, in essence, she's always been following Onyx, and for a while, initially, she was going to put him down because she didn't like the route he was on. He was going to. However, at the end, she decided to simply follow him, and no matter where he goes, she'll protect him. Like, no matter what he chooses to do, even if he were to, like, choose to kill other members of the family, she'll still protect him. So, in essence, after they met up on the old site, and she was the one who basically unlocked his necklace for him, she, in short, gave him, like, the appearance that he always should have had, rather than, like, when his mom died. And then, like, he kind of got fucked up and got the Snow White hair and shit. She was the one who gave him, like, the appearance that he should have had, like, this entire time. So, Onyx relies on her a lot. Like, she is, in short, a shadow queen. And everything that Onyx decides to do for family, it first gets passed by through her. Like, it always gets passed by through her. It's always, like, through her first, like, what do you think about this? How do you think we should do this? And everything. There isn't, like, an idea that goes by that isn't first passed through her before it goes to Death and then Kuro and then everyone else.
Yeah, so it's like Onyx is the visual leader, but Isabella's sort of like the behind the scenes leader.
Mm-hmm. That's why I call her the Shadow Queen. Another thing about her is every member of Apocalypse has this, like, on them, they have a tattoo that basically they choose what the image is, but Isabella's darkness is literally, like, etched into their bone. From there, Isabella knows where they're at. She knows, like, if they're healthy. She knows if they're sick. Like, she knows everything about them. So if she were to get taken out and killed, literally the backbone of Apocalypse is gone. Like, she is their backbone.
Good to know.
So, is it they all D-links, pretty much? Are they all, like, D-link abilities then? Like, all the tattoos?
Yes. Like, that's basically how she knows if they're in trouble. And when they call out the SOS, she automatically knows. Like, if they were to send energy into that part of their bone to help, and if the bone were to ever break, she knows exactly where it broke and what power level they were at, like, and how healthy they were when the bone broke. Like, and
Which
from
was
there,
kind
she'll
of,
judge whether or not to go after them.
it was kind of like what happened with the first iteration of Sin when she had died alongside Kara to create Trinity. Like, she died and everyone felt it.
Mm-hmm. Because, in short, if someone were to die, then they all feel the tug on that certain bone through Isabella. So if Isabella were to die, they'd literally feel like that bone getting ripped out of them.
Okay.
So Isabella, in short, has always been a shadow queen. Not, like, completely always, but, like, ever since she herself, like, came out and she stopped using the skeleton as as herself. So I think that's all I really have to say on her. If anyone has any questions or comments about Isabella. I know you had one, Lenif.
Oh, I was more talk about, like, overall. Comment-wise, I still want to practice her against Wislam because that was my kind of dream back in the old site. Because they had similar power sets back then. So I wanted to see how they would kind of play out, like illusion versus illusions.
Mm-hmm.
In any case, speaking of power levels, what is probably more a little controversial, there was a bit of drama between you and the old site versus with your group and stuff and the other users. I just wanted to see if you want to address that of...
The power levels?
Yes, like we are a story system, but so is KH. Like I'm not sure at the same time as when you introduce Apocalypse.
We are on a completely different story system than KH was. On KH, their max strength was, which I thought was total bullshit, was the ability to flip over a, you know, those little accent cars that are driven around, the accent, like a Hyundai Accent or something like that.
Yeah.
The max power on KH was to be able to lift that and put that on its side.
Oh.
So
Okay.
that's not that like amazing.
All right, so my question was, shoot, I forgot my wording down.
I think I understand where you're going with this.
Like, do you have
I
a way
just
of
wanna be
addressing?
sure.
Do you have a way of addressing that to even people who are from the old site and they have like a bit of subconscious fear or distaste for you, for your character because of what they kind of seemed like either overpowered or they just didn't like them for killing stuff or they
I
can do
think
without it?
that will be perfectly explained when I finally make their stats and put their stats in. Because once the stats are settled in, then everyone will know what they're weak against. I'll tell you now, none of them are a 5 in everything. None of them have a 5 in everything. Not Onyx, not War, not Isabella, not Pearl. No character of mine has a 5 in everything. So they are going to have weaknesses, and the weakness isn't going to be, oh, don't worry, guys, they're bad in Synth.
And I also want to kind of like disillusion that they are invincible because that was one of the creatures they had back in KH for a while back.
I think the reason why everyone thought they were invincible was because of the simple fact that they never lost. And a lot of times they didn't lose because, well, look what they were facing. It wasn't that, like, you know, great. So they aren't invincible by any standards, but at the same time, they're not going to roll over. If they do get into fight situations, they don't roll over. Because to them, like, when they fight, their ethics and morals kick in. And their ethics and morals is, if we kill you, you're sent to a better place. And that, in the end, is good for you. So despite what you feel is important for you, I need to be the bigger person and do what's best for you. And that's to kill you. So that's usually like the thing that they go into with a fight.
I just wanted to clarify that they are a user-based creation and they're nothing above what any other user can also create.
Yeah. Definitely. It's like they will never... They're not gods. They're not gods. One proclaims he's a god. He might be a god in the eyes of some, but they're still beatable.
And I feel like one of the things on the other site was like people would come at Apocalypse one by one rather than in groups, and one person versing Apocalypse, you're going to be fighting all of them, and of course you're going to lose.
I think that's another problem that people didn't understand, and it wasn't really noticed until playing with the big boys now. Apocalypse fight together. They're not a solo group. The only one who fights solo is Onyx. He's the only one who goes out of the way to fight solo. Sometimes Death will do it, but she's doing it literally because of Rebel. Sometimes Kuro will do it, but he literally does it to prove himself that he's not just a random member, and there's a reason why he's third in command. And I think they were the only two. Like, even War rarely will fight alone. Like, none of them, like, the rule of the house is don't go alone. It's dangerous to go alone. As stupid as that sounds. Like, it's dangerous to go alone.
Take this!
Take the shapeshifter with you.
All right, so you cleared my question, my clarification. Anything else you want to address with that question, I'm fine with, and then you can move on to back to your characters.
All right. I really think the number one thing I want with Apocalypse is I I want them. I'm not gonna lie. I like it when Apocalypse is feared, but I want them to be feared for the right reasons. I don't want them to be feared because, like, you feel as though you're going to be cheated and you're going to lose to them because, oh, I'm facing the owner of the site. I'm done for. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want that to be the case. I want it to be, oh, hey, look, here's the owner of the site. He has this group. Let me make a story with them and whatnot, and then we can, like, feed off of each other and keep going off of it.
Yeah. I don't want anyone to feel like just because one owner says something goes, that the other two will just let it happen. It really is a discussion between the three of us before anything really falls through or moves on. So it's like if two of us believe as though the third is being unfair, we will let them know and put them in their place, pretty much.
Does anyone else have any questions about the Shadow Queen?
Not right now.
I had one, but I forgot it.
Damn it,
Good on
Lenny.
you.
I kind of still want to interact, but it's like, not sure how to have a reacting character right now.
Well, it's okay because she's in this universe, but she's literally just a small black goop right now.
Goo.
She's
So
literally
am I.
just a small black goop.
So am I technically. I'm just more firm and toned.
She's literally like a 2-foot goo in the ventilation duct right now.
What an entrance.
Watching people through the vents or something.
No, she's just in the ventilation, basically spreading her gas.
Who is her parents?
Say what?
Who is her parents? She seems like the eldest, the most ancient one, but where was her beginning?
TBA! That's what I always do in the chat that I have with and the staff chat every time. I was always like, we know about this, but what about Onyx's mom and the dad that fucked him up? And I just sit there quiet and then I just say,
Alright, so who's next?
then I
Frank?
just say that. Next is.
Are you delaying?
No, I'm not
okay.
delaying.
No, okay, I was just wondering because your response was a little static there.
He's
Sorry.
just a little slow.
Next is Kuro, the character in the middle. Oh my god, isn't this just a great face claim for him? Look at it, it's so cute.
Oh yeah, I like the face claim he chose. That's from Kaga Pro, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alright. What can I say? Kuro, he was initially supposed to be the leader, and as you can see from the picture, you'll see why. But then I just decided, you know what? I'll make him sort of close to the genius of the group. A lazy genius, which surprisingly I wasn't watching Naruto at this time, so I don't know how I made that connection. So I kind of made him lazy genius stature. But
Shikamaru.
I think the short idea for Kuro was just simply something, because all my characters had always been 6'5", 8'5", and all that. And I was just like, how about someone scary that's small, like someone that people are running away from, and then the shadow's all big, but then as it zooms in, it's just this little 5-foot guy with headphones. Yeah, let's go with that. Any comments or questions about Kuro? Good.
Is this Kuro the same one that was in a relationship with Kara on Cage?
No, this is a different Kuro.
Okay.
That universe does not exist.
Gotcha.
That universe dead. That universe died. Gold was gone. Never happened.
What? Oh yeah. Is Kuro short enough to be called a midget?
This bitch.
He's just vertically challenged.
Listen. When he puts snakes at the bottom of his feet, he's 10 feet tall.
Only?
He's walking tall.
Does he like go to amusement parks and find out he's too small to go on the rides?
That actually happened at Pranks' Paradise, and he killed the guy and said he couldn't go.
He was just doing his job.
He literally just had an anaconda eat it.
Oh.
Are they ever going to try to blend in and not try to kill everybody on sight?
Actually, yes, that is literally what they were going to do when they first arrived.
Okay.
That's what they're attempting to do, but if aggravated, then they're gonna strike back.
That's
but
it.
As evidenced in Realtor.
I was like, Koro's just reaction to that might have been a little extreme.
I think what Kuro does nowadays is like he's still about saving, however, he doesn't go out of his way. Like, it's like if you were to pair him with Amelia would go out of her way and do her best to save someone, while Kuro would just go back to the family and be like, I'm sorry, I got a non-existent stomach virus.
I feel like Amelia and Sin are one of the two that kill the most.
Yeah, they're like employees of the month.
Yeah.
It's just like a constant back and forth employee of the month, Sin, employee of the month, Amelia, 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 employee of the month, Sin.
Sin finally gets one!
What happens if they run into someone from the past universe, or someone that looks like someone from the past universe?
Oh, Jesus Christ, I hope we met someone that they haven't killed. Jesus Christ, look how Def reacted to Shiru.
Well, there's Shiru, and then there's Neptune, and then Lenneth looks like one from the old site.
I think if they ran into someone like Lucio, he'd be safe because the only one who knows about him is Onyx.
Hmm.
If Onyx is the only one that had a real problem with him, like if Death or Sin or something like that were like, they'd be like, oh, hi, stranger, would you like to be interested in the Church of our Lord and Savior, the Messiah?
Wait, when did I have RP with... Just Onyx, right?
No, you've RP'd with all of them.
Oh, when is that?
Yeah, you RP'd with Sumi.
The fight in the End of the World castle.
What happened? I don't remember.
Basically, we went there to go retrieve the Dark Ravager. You were blowing it up because you were getting rid of it. So it was like old stuff and whatnot. Where Anna's body was being, where basically Anna's tomb was.
Doom. I thought she traveled to another universe. She was fine.
No, Anya traveled to another universe. Anna died.
Oh. Damn, how far was it? How long ago was this?
You were gonna blow up her tomb.
Did I know it's her tomb?
No.
Okay, probably why. Like, I don't think I would do that, like, other Lenny.
Alright. Okay, I think that's enough about Kuro. Because, honestly, I don't think I need to explain that much about him, because, like, he was kind of a character that had topics and whatnot. So his personality is, like, out there. Alright, next character in Apocalypse is Victoria.
Woo.
Okay, in short, Victoria's origins is kind of fucked up, if you think about it. So, in short, Victoria is one of the lone survivors of the Twilight Town attack. Because in the finale of it, when she was 6, that's when she met Onyx, and that's when all her friends were murdered around her. And basically, Onyx took her and literally saw potential, so gave her the mark of the angel. But she received a different mark. it wasn't really like another personality born from you. It was more like your personality. It was more, how can I put it? Like kind of like an amnesia. It's kind of like a clean slate mark.
It was rewritten.
Mm-hmm. Like basically at that point, Victoria isn't even her real name. Her real name is Jessica. But in short, memory was wiped. She forgot everything, which was kind of a good thing because if she did, then she'd probably be in like a fucking mental ward somewhere. So she's kind of basically just a sponge who has been soaking up their teachings like Amelia for the past 20 years. And these are her puppies. Where are her puppies at? Cool, where did I put the picture of her dogs?
I think it's still in the Skype chat. I'll go get it and screen share it.
Cool.
Yeah, they're adorable.
Everyone's gonna be like, really?
Can I screen share using photos? I think I can.
As for Victoria's powers, right now, so far, all we know about her is she's a mute and that she is, all she really has is the powers from the mark. And that's really all that's known about her right now, power-wise.
Save, yeah, alright. Yeah, I'll have to upload it, but it didn't take too long.
You have to upload it?
Yeah, because I can't, for some reason, screen share applications. I can only screen share, like, desktop windows. So,
Yeah, that's weird.
alright, here, I got it.
Cool.
Here we go.
Oh,
Oh, Flareon.
One's name is Tinder and the other one's name is Spark.
Apparently they don't like bones.
They don't like the bones.
They just spit them back out.
They do like the eyeballs, though. So that just shows you what they feed on. So it's kind of funny. Don asked me, so what made them change into Flareons? And I was like, extensive prolonged exposure to fire.
Oh, jeez.
so they just
Wow.
Say what?
So they basically just evolved.
Because of extensive exposure to fire.
Was it fire or was it lava?
Fire.
Okay.
Is there any other questions about Victoria? Because there's really not that much to get about her.
Does she still have that problem where she trips and face plants into the floor?
Kinda.
She's gotten better.
She's gotten better after 20 years, but you know what the funny thing is? Right now, I'm just literally staring at the picture of her sitting down on her profile. So when you ask that, it's literally like she's just staring. Like, really, bitch? You're gonna give me that still? I will come at you screaming at you.
Oh, man.
You know what I'm talking about? Just go to her profile and look at the second picture of her, and then just imagine you saying.
Here, where is... Yeah, alright.
All right, I think we have one more to go. Actually, two. There are two more. I told you. Just look at the way she's staring.
She's doing stuff, right? She's not just sitting in a room. She's not your like trapped nominee.
Oh no, she's doing stuff. She's been doing stuff for the past 20 years.
Not sitting in a room waiting.
They're not just keeping her in a room like some little kid. They're not just like, here, we're gonna go save all the poor people. You stay in here and play with the dog. What? Mm-hmm.
Look at the wall, and you'll be entertained.
All right. Last one on the list. The Onyx Project. Questions.
Dante is yummy.
That is.
Yeah.
I said questions, not comments.
Can he be yummy in my mouth?
He already has been yummy.
Yes.
Oh God, she's fucking a big brother.
Does he still have his twin Virgil?
Why do you hate me?
What about his daddy?
Why do you hate me?
Sparta.
Oh, sorry.
Sparta.
There you go,
Wow.
Jasmine.
Hold on. Can't use my thumbs.
Wow, the one that I thought would be the longest is actually going to be the shortest.
Are his powers the same?
Yep, he's still a
Mm.
lava. He's still a lava man slash thunder. So he's still a lava man slash spark boy.
Sparky.
Oh, is he still sick of chains? Like, I remember, like, everybody attacked Onyx with chains for some reason.
He has a prolonged hate exchange now. He sees chains, he will strike.
Has he changed since the KH universe? Since he's traveled this far now?
Yes. He's a little less childish. Just a little. He still is childish because that was part of the charm. However, unlike Vera, he's playing around when doing it. Like, he's never truly serious. Like, that's kind of the difference between him and Vera. Well, Vera is a fucking idiot. Onyx pretends to be a fucking idiot.
There is a log. There is just simply put a log.
A lovable log, though.
A log nonetheless.
A lovable log, though.
A log that sells ice cream.
Listen, don't you get on a man's way of life.
Question is, what's in that cream?
Are your
I
two
don't know,
mains
actually.
interacting with each other at all, or?
I'm actually trying to avoid that because a fight between them would be very catastrophic for whatever world they're on.
They'd have to go to their own little pocket dimension and duke it out there.
Mm-hmm.
What about like him buying ice cream from Vera?
That can happen.
All right.
Does Vera sell sea salt?
Yes.
Okay, well, I'm definitely gonna have to stop by at one point.
For some good old sea salt ice cream. Sin's gonna bring her personalized tin of blood and just dip it on there.
So strawberry sea salt ice cream?
Sure. That's what it looked like to everyone else.
I love the way the blood tastes. I'm so tasty.
So tasty.
Oh my god. Alright, so is there any real questions about Onyx?
I know you said they were just gonna like chill out for a bit in the new universe. But does he still feel the urge to save people?
Yes.
What would cause him to do that?
Injustice.
Hmm.
Injustices are one of the main causes of that would make him be like, we need to start up again. Seeing poor poverty, because he's used to, on the old site what happened was he wanted city councils to take over, or otherwise that would make it better for people, or otherwise he'd send them to his own paradise.
Gotcha.
Because initially when he came in, that was the whole thing. It was like, you gotta save him, gotta save him, gotta save him, gotta save him, because these living conditions are shit. Look at the mortgages. Look at the price of everything. It's absolutely horrible. Not like that, but like, well, you get what I mean. So now it's like, if he sees basically horrible conditions throughout the world and whatnot, and people generally not happy, and he's just like, hey, I got a better idea for you all. You guys, really? What's that? Takes out the sword and beheads someone, and everyone else goes running away screaming. And he's just like, what? While covered in their blood.
He lives here for 20 years now, right? In the time skip?
I haven't lived here for 20 years. He's lived in KH for 20 years.
I was like, does he have an idea of like how the worlds are currently? Or is he like, it's like, eh?
No, but that's going to lead to the first opening topics of Apocalypse, because they're going to be scouts, as they did on KH, to be sent out and basically like take a look at the worlds. And he's basically going to be like, guys, scout out, go in groups of 3, take snacks, and if anything gives you a problem, take them into a back alley and rip their heads off. But don't get caught. I think that's the biggest thing right now.
Yeah, like with most of the worlds just coming out of Dark Sin rule, they should be pretty set.
Yeah. So it's like, for a while, there might just be, like, slice of life topics with Apocalypse, which I'm totally for. It's like, it's going to get to the point where it's going to be like, wow, are these guys ever going to, like, fucking actually kill? Like, they're kind of puss. Meanwhile, you have Amelia on the side, like, in a fetal position in her room, rocking back and forth. She's
I
like,
want to do something.
can't save, gotta save, can't save, gotta save. I would talk about Onyx's past, but that's like a 30-minute explanation.
Hey, we've got plenty of time. We've been doing this for like 2 hours.
We have
Yeah, actually,
What?
I gotta hop off soon because work.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
Uh,
What about you, Kinos? Are you good still?
I'm good for a bit, yeah.
Should I talk about Onyx's past? Well, I mean, it's really like it's all there. If you read it, I mean, my writing's not that bad, right, guys? You're not saying yes.
We're not saying yes, but we're not saying no.
Great. I love your writing. It's great.
It's
So
great. I love your
beautiful.
writing. It's great. It's so beautiful. All those grammatic errors, so beautiful.
Grammatically perfect.
Listen, I try. Okay, I try.
I'm assuming you're going to have more fun with these characters now, comparatively to back then, at least. More fun.
Yeah.
And not, like, hatred-fueled hate, like...
There will be no hate fucking, just lots of fucking.
All right, then. That's
What?
better.
What? Why does it always go back to that?
Because she's an incest lover. She's fucking her brother, for God's sakes, Kinos.
And a big thumbs up.
She's fucking her brother and her sister at the same time. I know.
At the same time.
Oh.
They go to the Funyun, and they have lots of fun there, let me tell you.
Jesus Christ, Kinos. She's just like, I love you, big brother. And then she grabs his fucking crotch.
Oh, yeah. Lots to grab, you know?
Game of Thrones and grab on the shit.
oh, Nichan.
Oh, God.
No, she calls him Onyx Knee. Onyx Knee and Death Knee.
On my knees and death. On my knees for Onyx. Oh, God, no.
Oh, God.
That's kind of like one of her mantras, you know?
On my knees for Onyx and AJ. No! Anime was a mistake.
Oh my god. No, the Kingdom Hearts canon characters would not survive in this universe.
No. Thanks to me, Dunn, and Frank, there's too much. Well, Lenny too. There's too much lust and want to fuck each other.
Hey, my plan works.
The plot
That's
would
right.
solve itself like Xehanort would just be like, nah, fuck this, I don't give a shit about this universe, and commit suicide.
He would throw himself into the light. Just see you all later.
He's literally just like, I'm out.
Or would he join and try to one up us?
I could see him being, you know, pretty big pimp.
Which Xehanort?
All of them.
Oh,
Young Xehanort, Xemnas, and some older.
Older Zax one. You know, all 13 at once. Bam.
The biggest orgy, the organization orgy.
that's what 13 Darknesses versus 7 Lights really is.
Yes.
The light as a whole.
Well, the key's gotta go somewhere.
Yeah. Questions, closing statements, anything.
I'm still on my knees for Onyx and this site is.
That'll be the plaque postered outside of her door, just right on her door, just on my knees for Onyx knee.
You know the do not disturb sign? That would be her do not disturb sign.
Wow.
Yep. Just a little door hanger right outside.
Oh yeah,
And
I
in
never
case-
talked about the mystery character. Oh well.
Mystery character.
Who is
Didn't we
that?
talk about her already?
Did we?
Yosei?
Yeah,
Is
we
mystery
talked about-
character Yosei? Because we talked about Yosei.
Oh no, I'm talking about another one.
Dun dun
Oh.
dun!
Plot twist.
I said the 8th member of Apocalypse, remember? Yosei's the 7th.
And start talking!
Nah.
Wait, there's already 8.
No, there's Onyx number 1, Death is number 2, Kuro number 3,
And there's War, Famine, Veronica, and
there's
Yosei.
Famine's number 4, War is number 5, Amir is number 6, 7 is Yosei, 8 is... Oh yeah, the mystery 9th character that I would say.
Yeah, 'cause Sin makes 8. Perfect number in every way. You can slice it up however you want.
What if we put it sideways?
Infinity! And beyond.
Infinity on my knees for Onyx.
Is the secret member Mr. Cluck? Is that the secret member?
Will there be the return of Mr. Cluck?
We already confirmed that before you came on.
Oh,
Mr. Cluck is the true threat. Like, everybody else is like, no, like, Onyx is the main powerhouse. No, it's Mr. Cluck. Mr.
Oh,
Cluck
yeah.
is a
He
destroyer
kicks
of worlds.
everyone's ass in poker.
Yeah, he strikes fear into the hearts of man. Goku would lose in a fight to him.
Hell, Saitama would lose in a fight. Oh my god, I remember that was the thing. That literally they would play poker and then every time the chicken would
Kuro was getting so pissed off because he kept losing to a chicken.
everyone else was just like, I just want some poultry. I need to go really high in my life. But yeah, there's gonna be an 8th character. I mean, 9. Magic number 9.
Nice.
Do we get any hints about this mystery character?
It's a girl.
Okay.
What's their first name start with?
Starts with the letter R.
Is it gonna-
Rokero!
Is it going to be an archetype character or your own like custom one?
It's a custom one. That has to do with the Onyx lineage.
Is it gonna be his mama?
Nah.
Is it
Is it gonna be-
secretly Eds Licks in a wig?
Onyx, I'm your brother. Sister.
Your Brister.
Oh god, on my knees, rock.
Buddha eats the licks in a wig. That's the secret member of
It was a mistake. It was a mistake.
What about love? No.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's actually Vex Love. Let me shut up. Yeah, I think that's the only thing I'm gonna give away about it. It has to do with the Onyx lineage and the name begins with R. So I guess I can end this. So I guess you can end this now. We've been here for a while. Unless you guys have any last comments / questions.
Before we do end this, like if we're about to end this, then I'd like to thank Asmont for being my messenger for like half this fucking podcast. Like, because my fucking mic wouldn't work. Yeah.
Thank you, Frank, for all the information.
No problem. I'm sorry if this was boring at points, or if this was hard to get through. Anyone who made it to this level, I commend you.
And at this point, we say that if you have any more questions, don't hesitate to PM one of us. I'm sure any of us would really be happy to answer any questions.
And if you have any questions about Apocalypse, please do not be afraid to PM.
Oh, also, if you want to also be interviewed as well for your character arcs, your character families, or any kind of stories, we can do this for anyone, not just people on staff or famous people.
Exactly. I'm famous.
Infamous. Or infamous. One of the
Piece of shit, you cheeky cop.
All right, folks. Have a good night.
I guess I can end this by saying Onyx's actual name. Nah.
Oh wait, am I supposed to like end it now?
Oh,
Whoops.
I mean, I'll say his actual name.
All right, say it.
Onyx's real name is